97.1 Hank FM, Indy's number one for new country. It's wild hanging out with Scott Borchetta this morning, who, by the way, in the middle of a police escort down to the IMS to run a few hot laps in his Eagle. And Brantly Gilbert's on the phone right now. I mean, have you ever had a police escort just to take you down to drive really fast somewhere?
No, but that's a pretty rock star move, man. And then when you're dealing with Scott, things like that will happen from time to time, you know.
Gets a little crazy.
Big jobs.
Oh, yeah. Gets a little crazy. How you doing these days?
Man, I'm absolutely wonderful. I'm chasing around a 19-month-old and waiting on my little girl to get here in September.
Oh, my goodness. And that was fantastic news. Girls, speaking of as a father of a girl, got an 11-year-old. You know, if you don't have a basement in your house, you should start digging one, because by the time they get to 10 or 11, you should probably keep them there forever and do not let them talk to boys. Ever. Ever.
Yeah, I figure I got about 15 or 16 good years before prison.
Yeah, exactly. Was it my daughter, she goes, well, I'm going to have to talk to boys. And I go, here's the deal, all right? If a boy asks you out, the thing that you tell him is, whatever you do to me, you have to do to my dad. And that usually...
And all his buddies.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It stops it cold right there. Because, you get an image of me in your head and start kind of throwing up in your mouth, which is okay. It's okay, Brantly. So you've been working on some new music, and we got a chance to hear some of it about a month and a half ago. You stopped by Hank FM to play some of it for us, and it is fantastic. How would you say you have changed as a songwriter over the last probably 3 to 4 years?
Well, man, I got to tell you, and Scott and I have had this conversation. You know, it's one of those things where all of my albums are chapters of my life, but I'm to a chapter in my life where I'm having to kind of branch out a little bit and write some reminiscent stuff, because nobody wants to hear an entire record about, washing clothes and dishes and stuff.
I do.
Well, Lone Star tried that. And
oh, man. Oh.
I know Scott's just shaking his head.
Oh, I know.
Like I knew we shouldn't have called him this early.
Well, the thing, too, is Scott right now the thing is, this is your chance to say all the fun things, because he's probably driving 150 miles an hour right now and not even listening to a radio. You know what I mean? So this is good.
Perfect.
So this is good. That's why we planned it out this way, Brantly. You get to be Brantly now. Boss isn't in the office right now. You get to be Brantly on 11 right now, not Brantly on 4. You know what I mean? You could be Brantly on 11. It's going to be okay. We'll allow it. But back to the question. Obviously, no one wants to hear an album, of washing dishes and folding clothes and stuff. But how is this chapter different for you in songwriting?
Oh, man, that, of course, was a joke. It's, life's a million miles an hour. I'm sure Scott will tell you later, we've been absolutely covered up busy trying to, go around and play songs for folks and let them know what's coming on this next album. And, man, we couldn't be more excited about it. We've got a single out right now, as you know, with Miss Lindsay L., who's just insanely talented. And, getting ready for the award show coming up in a couple of weeks. We picked up a nomination for a collaborative video. And
congratulations.
Well, I appreciate that, my friend. So we're excited about that, and, excited to get on tour. A million things going on at once, but busy beats bored any day of the week.
Any day. Now, what happens in a small town? That was actually a long process to kind of get that through Scott, and you, as you were trying to find that next single, that became the one. But it was a process just trying to find that first one from this album, wasn't it?
It sure was. We cut a bunch of songs, and I thought I had the record, and went in and had a conversation with Scott, and Scott said, "Hey, he said, I think we got singles, but I don't think we have the single." But, at that point, I'd kind of just screamed some terrible words into my pillow. And you know, you know, threw a little bit of a fit, but I get over that soon, and kind of just takes me a minute. But no, we kind of went back to the drawing board and went back out on the road with Josh Dunn and Red Akins and Brock Berry Hill, and man, tried to catch lightning in a bottle, and got extremely blessed on that trip, and wound up with a song that I couldn't be more blessed to share with Lindsay, and working with her has been absolutely amazing, and she's going to come out on tour with us, and it's just it's a good moment for us, and just a song we're really proud of, and there's just a lot of things in the chute, man. It's a million miles an hour by the time wake up in the morning. There's 4 more things to do, and get ready for. But that's the fun part. I love it. And my wife is probably ready for me to be back on the road a little more. But
isn't that always the case though? They're kind of like, hey, behind every man is a woman rolling their eyes, trying to push him out the door. I mean, it's kind of the thing.
I love that image, and it sounds absolutely perfect. It's pretty much what's going on here at the house.
Well, I mean, when you get back out on the road, I mean, you actually, when you came in last time, you had shown us a video of you busting your head open on a crane as you were playing football backstage with a couple of buddies.
Yes, sir.
I remember us all kind of talking, and everybody's like, ooh, ow. And like the first thing, because me, I'm an idiot. First thing that comes out of my mouth is, well, did you hang on to the ball? I mean, like, I'm that guy. And then what do we spend? We spent like 10 minutes kind of going over it like an NFL officiating crew. Like, 1, 2. He got 2 steps. He has control. He has completed the process. So,
and he is bleeding.
He is bleeding, which is
profusely from his head.
And you got stitches from that, correct?
I did. Yeah, that was it took a little bit of a shot. It was knocked me a little cuckoo for a minute, but the important thing was I did hold the ball, came down in bounds, and maintained control, made a football move. So it was a catch.
It's clearly a catch, and the thing is, you can hang on to that for the rest of your life. Like, I dare you to hold on to the ball, NFL receiver. I took one from a crane and still held on to it, okay? So you can throw that in your favorite team's face. So
that's what I'm saying. If I can get hit by a skyjack and maintain control...
Sounds even better. I get hit by a skyjack and maintain control. Oh, my God. Oh, well, Brantly, one of the songs that really stood out to me when you came through was you were talking about your son and the man who hung the moon. That song that's is going to be on the forthcoming album from you. Just an amazing song. And just to hear the transition as a songwriter from you has been really, really cool, and we are really looking forward to all the new stuff coming from you down the corner here.
My brother, I appreciate it, and I got to tell you that, of course, is my favorite song on the album because it's about my son. But it's one of those songs that's a little more than skin deep, and there's a lot of songs that are funner to play, more fun to play live, or every song kind of has its purpose or has its moment, and that one to me is just extremely close to my heart, and those seem to be the ones that most people relate to. So I think there's moms and dads everywhere that'll listen to that and be like, okay, that's how I feel about my son or my daughter, and it means the world to me, and I'm excited for the world to hear it.
Well, Brantly, we wish you the best luck down the line here, and let us know if you ever need anything from HANKFM, and the new album going to be amazing, and we are looking forward to hearing every single track right here on HANKFM. But you get back to bed, okay? For crying out loud, it's Friday. You should be sleeping till like 4. Come on.
Now, that is one command from you I believe I will take.
All right. Take my command for once, for crying out loud. Jesus, Brantly. All right. Well, best of luck to you. We'll talk again soon, all right?
All right, buddy. I appreciate you having me, man. It's always fun to talk to you.
All right. Take care, dude.